All right, folks, so I got a new project to work on. This is something I bought back in February of this year, and we're now in mid-August, and it's arrived just today. I bought it from the US, had to transit via the UK, and it's only arrived now. There's loads of delays due to obvious circumstances. If you're watching this later, this was in 2020. It wasn't the best start of the year. But anyway, so here it is. It's a new cab, and well, it's going to go in my arcade room. I actually sold one cab to make space for it. The 1942, I sold that to a friend. I just wasn't playing it, and it works fine because this is going to go in. Let me flip this camera. And there you go, it's just here. I had people today. There was a van here, so I just couldn't move it in, but it's been outside now for today. It's an Asteroid cab. It's filthy dirty. This was sold to me as non-working, so I don't expect it to power up or anything like that. We're still gonna try it, but everything is here. Big ISO power supply, the AR board, Atari, the main board, and the monitor is all here as well, as far as I can tell. Yes. Now whether it's working or not, so it's sold as non-working and as a filthy. Oh my god, is that poop? That is poop. Is that cat poop, raccoon, or whatever it is? Okay, I'm gonna get the gloves and try and power this thing and then see what happens. Ugh. Yeah, it's filthy. It needs a clean. It's obviously original. Look at that, how cruddy. There's some just wood here. It's disintegrating in some places. I'm gonna have to fix that. Bit of Bondo will do the trick. See if I can re-glue this or just get rid of it. Put new overlay on top here. Yeah, corners aren't great. The art is still mostly here. I see how it cleans up. I might just keep it as is. A bit of battle damage. I think it's kind of cool all the same. I might just fix these scratches here, but if it's stuff like that, like tape that took the paint, will I just paint over or leave that? I'll leave that, probably. How's the other side? Front is missing. Oh, control panel. We get some control panel damage. Not to worry, I can find these places or print them, but I'll try and find them. Okay, over there is probably the worst off area. Other than that, and other than it's filthy, it'll need a new T-molding. All this can be just fixed, you know, a bit of a wood stabilizer, Bondo, Isopon. People laugh at me when I say Bondo, because we don't have Bondo here in Europe. It's the Isopon stuff. But look at that, yeah, that's all chipping and falling apart. All right, let's get some gloves and see if this machine works at all. Oh my god, this thing is so cruddy. So I opened this fell right away. So it's taped here, but the glue has gone, but it's still intact. It might need a slight clean in some places, like here, but I'll have to be careful not to use anything liquid to clean it. Look at this. I just rubbed it with just a wet cloth, and look at the and it's crusty. First I thought it was a texture, because it doesn't just come off. You really have to rub it. I can see some burn. I can see is that a dead spot in the middle? Yeah, and here as well is just filthy. I mean, I'm not going to see much anyway even if I power this on. This is like it's not glass, it's plexiglass. Is this normal? Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to see much. Anyway, I have this plugged in. I am running just a step down transformer, whatever it's called. Okay, so we can hear the hum from this guy. I would have thought there was a light on this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking, yeah, there should be a light here, and that's not lighting up. Fair enough. Here we've got a light, and have we? even just a trace of a neck glow. It's not going to be easy to tell here. Yeah, there's a wee bit of neck glow. This camera is in the way, or is annoying, but you should be able to see it there. Yeah, tiny spot of neck glow, but that should be good enough to tell me that we have at least we've got high voltage coming here. But other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I'm assuming there's no power coming through this. Let me check the 5 volts. Can't do that with one hand, so I'll switch this off and come back. Yeah, so there's no 5 volts, so this board isn't being powered. I'm assuming either we have a fuse. I'm going to check the fuses, or the AR board here has something dodgy going on. Am I seeing a... Is that a diode, or... Doesn't look too healthy. I'm gonna have to test that at some point. I'm not gonna do this now. I'm just gonna check the fuses now, check they're all okay, and then yeah, leave it at that. Move this inside, clean it first. I don't want to work on it in this state because she's gonna get filthy. So clean it first, and then we'll start working on it. Alright, so I checked. I'm getting there's a 5 volt point here. There's ground here and here. There's a 10 volt 5 volt, and I'm getting 11 volts at the 5 volts. So I'm guessing that's not good. I don't know exactly what should be where, what is doing what. I've no experience of this type of hardware. So luckily I do have a manual that I bought years ago just by chance. And I'm glad I have it now, but you can find this on the internet anyway. It doesn't really matter that I have it or not. First job though, so yeah, I think the first course of inspection is going to see, make sure that this is delivered the right voltage, and fix that. If not, I'd like to see if this can be replaced by even the 5 volt, just the 5 volt be replaced by a switcher, and then keep that for the audio maybe. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna do some research on the internet and report back. But first, looks like the monitor, at least there's some high voltage going through that, so we can worry about that. If I know at least the board can even boot, then I can, I don't know, focus on the monitor. I don't know if this board works, that's the other thing. And because this is a vector monitor, I don't know either if this works or what. But we won't be able to tell. I didn't see a spot, but we won't be able really to tell for sure unless at least the board boots or loads, fires up. So I need that LED to be on and 5 volt to be sent to the board. Fuses tested fine over there. I think it's the only ones. I don't see any fuses here. There's fuses on the monitor, but I'm not too worried about that yet. Anyway, I think next I am going to bring this inside and thoroughly clean it as best as I can. I try to use some just simple water and elbow grease, and this is the best I could do here. It's still sort of faded and yellow and disgusting, so I'm gonna use something like Windex or maybe water with mild soap. Here I'll rub as much as I can, but I don't want to rub too much and take, you know, some of the paint or texture. It looks like this is this screen printed? Looks like it is. It'd be a shame to damage that in any way. Those buttons, oh god, somebody, I don't know, puked on it or something. They don't look great, but I think they'll clean up fine. I see a few chips and dents here and there, but I think this is just crust. I do have replacement buttons, however, if they don't clean up well. These are the Atari cone buttons. They don't really, they're not available as new, I don't think so. It's on the old stock, but at least they're all here. So, so that's good. I'm gonna have to clean this and the monitor and everything else. This is so filthy. Ugh. Yeah, or the marquee didn't light up, but that's not a big worry for now. And here, oh, look at this. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna order a new T-molding as well. And this is filthy here too. Look, this is just water. Look how much scrubbing I need to do to even just to get that crust out. I can feel it under the towel. It's all gooey and filthy. It will clean up, but actually the camera doesn't do justice on how crusty this is. Yeah, there you go. Here, look at this. Like, I'm scrubbing hard, but this thing isn't really coming off with just water. It is slowly, but it's just gunging up. Anyway, this is years of dust and crust and whatever else. Windex is going to be my friend here. Anyway, let's bring this inside. All right, I got the cab in. Inside the shed because it was raining overnight. Well, it was planned to rain overnight, and I didn't want that to even be outside. So it's in now, and I should clarify. Actually, I did a bit of research, and I was wrong in assuming that light in the monitor was actually a power light. What it is, it's a spot killer light. Shows you that I know nothing about these, so it's always good to research. It's a spot killer light. So whenever this monitor is a vector monitor, so it's receiving X and Y coordinates essentially, just to tell the monitor where to draw the line. It's not a raster monitor that kind of does scan lines, goes back up. It just actually draws directly, like an oscilloscope. Anyway, so it needs XY. If the board is not sending XY, the monitor will essentially the cathode, the tube, the electron beam will just send a spot right on the face of the monitor, and essentially just burn very quickly a nice big spot on the monitor. There's already some of that on this monitor. So what they had was a circuit on the monitor that actually shuts down the voltage to the cathode or anode, can't remember, but preventing that electron beam from damaging the screen. So that's what we have now, and I'm guessing that we have that now because the board isn't powering up or booting up because our AR board isn't working properly. So that's going to be our first fix. In fact, I'm probably going to also just clean up here this guy and maybe just change that big blue cap. Although if it's working, should I change it? To see, probably should. Anyway, that AR board is the first thing I need to fix, and then we will need to tackle this guy. It's going to be interesting because I don't know if it works, and I have no other monitor to test it on. So I'm going to see if I can even just get 5 volt. I'm assuming it's something blue in it because of well, we were sending it 12 or 10 volts. And it's not meant to get that, so I'd be very surprised if that board works. So fixing is going to be interesting. I have a half a mind of like sending it to Mark Hazeman, who does a great job. What's his art repair? I can't remember. I'll write it here. But I've sent in my Outrun boards because I don't mind messing with other boards, but stuff like Outrun, I want somebody who does really professional and quick job, and he did that. And on this, I know he will replace all the sockets, probably shotgun all the sound circuit, and fix everything else. He's very good at that. So I'll see. It'll be pricey, but sometimes, you know, for a good job, that's what you have to do. Just pay the price. Anyway, so this AR board, I'm going to just take it out, bring it to my bench, and just test everything. Right, quick update. I'm currently cleaning the buttons, and I soaked them in soapy water overnight. It didn't quite do enough to take the absolute shite that was caked on it, so I soaked them in bleach for a little while, and that did the trick. Look how damaged. That's not the bleach doing that, they were like that already, but you just couldn't see it because of all the crust. Look how damaged these are. plastic is sort of flaking off in parts. You can see some breaks here. You know, the best would be to change them altogether, but these aren't easy to find, those white buttons. I have some of these in blue, green and red. I have one white that I might just take to replace the worst affected one, but other than that, yeah, so what there's not much I can do, well, other than what I just did. So I use some very fine sandpaper just to remove most of those flakes and bits, and then some just some glossing sort of compound, and this is the best finish I seem to be able to get away with. As you can see, it's still not great, and it doesn't look the best, but it's actually, I mean, it's not completely day and night, but if you compare one that I haven't just sanded and sort of polish, it's not re-gloss, just a light polish, but yeah, you can tell, you know, it works to some extent, just not great. So I'll do this on all of them and then see if it's worth saving. They might just have to do for now, and then in time I might replace them, but obviously I'd like to keep everything original, so that's the idea behind this effort. This is the two I've sort of fixed. They're definitely whiter because of the light sanding, and then the other ones, I don't want to sand too deep either, because I'll just end up being like taking too much of the material. The other option, I suppose, would be maybe a retro bright, but I don't have any peroxide here. I might just order some and see if that does anything. The problem with that is right now there's no sun, and I've ordered some, but it's not due until, I don't know, next year, so I'm stuck with this. So we'll see. And then, you know, if I'm going to go the route of getting a UV light and that kind of stuff, I might as well just source new buttons, you know, and deal with those afterwards. So I'm just going to clean them as best as I can. I'm going to get some peroxide. If there's any bit of sun, I will chance it and report back. But for now, I have those 3 left to do. So let's do that. Right. Well, first I have the buttons here, but before I mention that, I've cleaned the cab. My God, this was filthy, and it still is. There's some oh, there you go. There's some bits of chewing gum left here. I thought I'd removed all of it. I'll show you how to remove that. Actually, I used some Windex, whatever this is, elbow grease, degreaser thing, a whole bottle on this cab, and it needed that. But God, it's night and day. And look at this control panel. How beautiful it is now. And the monitor, you can see the monitor. So I've cleaned all of this. There's still bits at the bottom that I need to clean, but I can do that next. And this coin door still has some crust on it, but I'm gonna actually just respray that. I need to fix that somehow, just get new parts for it and everything. But other than that, it's quite clean. This corner will need some attention. I'm not sure how or if I'll be able to save the artwork at the bottom, but if I can even just cut where it's black, it'll be better than nothing. And then we got all this here that needs to be addressed, so I'm just going to just clean all the little, I've done that already, but clean up the little bits that are sticking out. I use a razor blade, just follow the razor blade and just remove that like that. This back here took a long time, and the top, because it's whatever was in the air just actually collected here, so you can see actually the crust here. Still haven't been able to get rid of that, but look, we'll live with that. But it was just so sticky, and it's still sticky. Ugh. And oily. Whatever this was, it was just filthy. And this is the rug. I don't want to touch them. These were white. Yeah, these were white when I started. Oh, absolutely filthy. But it's not clean. I've cleaned all this, the bezel here, and the this art was quite it still has some traces of just heat or dirt, but I don't want to, touch it too much. I've used some very mild alcohol wipes, like baby wipes, just to clean that, and it's done a great job already. The colors are popping much better. I think I'm gonna have to live with that. Like I said, I don't mind a bit of used look. You could probably buy new ones. I'd like to keep it original, and if it's not too bad, it's not too faded, I'm happy with that. The other ones were the buttons, and well, they did clean up well. Let me see if I have some more light here to bring onto this. They certainly did clean up well. I mean, they're still fairly damaged, but again, battle marks, I don't mind that. Ooh, that's, my finger is dirty. These guys, I cleaned them and they showed little bits of distress here, but again, they work, they're here. So these are, so they're usually the ones missing, or even these actually. The white ones are harder to find than any other colors, at least here. So at least we've got them, and I might see if I can just spray paint them white, and just one very quick coat, and then do a clear varnish lacquer. That way they'll be nice and clean looking, and they'll be glossy. They'll still have the battle marks, but I'm absolutely okay with that. Look at this control panel. This is screen printed, so it's not an overlay or anything like that. It's printed on the metal, and it's held up, I mean, pretty well. I'd say that all the dust and crust probably protected it, because yeah, there's no trace of, well, there's damage, but it's not flaking off, you know what I mean? It's still there, and this control panel is actually in very good condition. I might just do a little bit of a touch up here, but that's all it needs. And the monitor, and I clean up, you can see the burn here. And you can see this here, whatever this was, this spot here, it's burnt a little hole in the phosphor, so that's permanently here now. But we'll get it running, I'm sure. I actually got the marquee back working again, and yeah, the control panel came out really nice now. I've very ever so slightly sprayed these white, and it did a world of difference, and a very light coat of lacquer, and yeah, very cool, very nice. And I'm happy with the like I said, battle marks, not a problem. It's just I didn't want to have that yellow, so they still look rough, but at least they're a bit whiter now. And I mean, from here you wouldn't even know. I have this on, so I disconnected everything. I actually cleaned the bottom, cleaned the power supply, and I'm having a slight trouble with the power supply. It keeps blowing that fuse here, which is the 10 volt that goes to the AR board. So I wonder if this was a problem with this to start with. Could it be the big blue? I don't know enough about these, so I'm gonna do some research. I've printed a few pages, and I can't remember the person who compiled all that information about this these supplies. So I'm just going to look that up and see why, because I've disconnected everything and it still blows the power, the fuse whenever I have it on. Interesting, you have all these jumpers here that allow you to set it to different voltage settings, and it was already on the 240 volts. Which is interesting because it came from the US, and I don't see how or why they would have been set like that there and then. So I don't know. Interesting. So first this, and then we'll tackle the AR board. I might do a separate video on that AR board, just because. There you go. And yeah, so let's have a look at that. I've pulled it out already, put it back in just to clean it, and but I need to pull it out again and see why that 10 volt rail is that it? Yeah, that's the one. That's the F2, which is here. F1 is this guy, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember. No, F2, yeah, F2 is this guy. F1 is here, yeah, there you go. F2 is this guy, that's the 10.6 volt, and that I believe is going to the AR board, whereas the rest of the bridge feed, kind of lamps. Are these lighting at all? Actually, I need to check. They're probably not. They're probably dead. Bridge rectifier input. So yeah, why is this blowing? And if it's not feeding 10 volt, or does it need that AR board to be connected even just to get that load? And it's blowing because it's not getting a load. I don't know. Anyway, that wouldn't make sense, to be honest. Okay, let's keep working. Right, so it's time to start the structural repair, or the wood repair on this guy. So I have this on its side up, and luckily there's no structural issue. I think the worst area was here, and you can see it's slightly raised due to the would have been dampness, you know, wood swelling. Especially this type of wood has a tendency to swell a lot. So it's I've chipped away as much as I can here. It just that's where really it was badly affected. But beyond that, it's still solid. It's tiny chips that I missed, but it's not a big problem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some wood treatment, like to prevent rot and solidify. This is like, it's like a bonding glue type of stuff. Remember I had some of that for, I think it was the Pac-Man Cabaret. And then I'll just rebuild this. You know what I'm thinking about doing is getting some liquid resin and just applying a layer of that, because liquid resin like that will seep into the wood and just bond it properly. So I might just do that, especially this type of stuff. It's very, very porous. And then use some filler or Bondo type of stuff. The artwork wasn't too affected. The only area where it might suffer was this corner, like little tiny corner, but not much you can do about that. Had to be removed so I can treat it properly. And the bottom is sound. It's not the cleanest, but it's sound. I don't see any woodworm, traces of woodworm or anything like that. So I'm going to put wheel casters on this. It'll make my life much easier. So I've removed everything. I have the monitor here. That's going to be another project for another time. But I'm just going to redo the... I'm just going to recap it. And then see what happens after that. But yeah, I think that might be just the best option. It's out. Yeah, this thing is old. I don't see any trace of previous work. So the original resistors are here. Those giant resistors. If the you can actually just jumper them. Actually, just replace them by just a jumper. They're not strictly needed. In fact, I believe it was recommended at some point. So I'll do a bit more research on the monitor. But what is it? It's Wells Gardner 19V2000. I believe there's a giant diode in this as well that probably needs to be looked at and replaced and that kind of stuff. It's not a job I'm going to do now. Control panel is fine. Some blemishes here. It's actually good to have it out like that. So I think, yeah, I need to get supplies. So it's going to be a few days or maybe a week before I can start working on this, But I've scraped the other side as well. I've just scraped as much as I can, most of the dirty wood. So there's going to be, I'm just going to use filler here to even out the line, and then I'll use some spray paint. You can see where the vinyl starts, so I wonder if this was actual vinyl here applied and then spray paint on this black, which would be perfect then. It looks like that's what it was, yeah. Anyway, let's order some stuff. All right, so I got some wood treatment thing, whatever it's called. It's called wood treatment, wood preserver. Anyway, I applied it generously in some areas. You can see the difference it makes. It's a brown. I chose a brown one because they only had brown in the shop, to be honest. Anyway, so it's here was the worst corner. So I'm just gonna let it dry overnight and then gonna start just building up this. So I'm not gonna use like the standard Bondo type stuff that you see. I'm gonna use some fiber mix, isopon mix for it's used for boats and a lot of just more structural repairs. Also, I want to strengthen this corner here because the T-molding will come here and this will be a corner. I'm not sure exactly, but well, although I'd put wheel casters here, so but just in case, because it's a bottom corner like that, get more exposed to things. So what I'm gonna do anyway, just to reinforce this area, I'm just gonna put nails, small tiny nails here, sorry, here, all the way here. I want to be careful not to put them this way because here I need to redo the T-molding at some point. So if I do that and then I cut the nails, well, that's, you know, the whole point of putting the nails. So I'm going to put in this way, all the way here, and it'll just provide a bit of a structural bond as well between the fiber and the wood. The stuff I'm going to use is it's this guy. It's a fiber mix, or is it this one? Filler. Yeah, it's not the filler. Like yeah, actually that's. Yeah, repair. Which one is which? Okay, one is a paste, which is the standard Bondo you see, and one is it's a paste as well, but it has a fiberglass mix, and it's a bit more. It's not as opaque as the other one. Anyway, I think that's the red one here. That's the one I'm gonna use, and then I use this one just for finer little holes and dents. But for anything structural, you want to use that sort of mix. It'll all become clear when I start using it. But for now, let's let this dry. I'm tempted here because it's still very weak. I mean, this doesn't actually strengthen the wood, it just preserves it. Just prevents rot, and because when wood like that is exposed, you know, it's a nest for dampness and rot to set in before you do the repair and rots from inside. So I'm just using that now to prevent that. I might use some very liquid wood glue, just so that it just should I, once I've got a fiberglass, it won't matter really. I'll see tomorrow. All right, so we replaced our big blue cap with this one. This comes from Arcade Parts and Repair. It's all the way from the US, so you have to wait a few days if, like me, you're in Europe to get it. But there you go. If you're unsure, because here there's no visible other than underneath sign of polarity, and here is the negative side. If you're unsure, you can see, actually, this is going to be awkward with one hand. Let me just try this. There you go. This thing is heavy. If you're unsure of the polarity, this board here will tell you exactly, thank you phone, where the negative sign is, and it's, well, it's under here anyway. But this board has just a negative sign there, so it'll let you know where to put it. This is so heavy. Anyway, so negative goes on this side, but just double check if you have that board underneath. There should be a sign somewhere. All right, so I'm starting to fill well, this corner and this corner. It doesn't look great, but once it starts to gel, you can go at it with a razor blade. I'll try and show that later on. So wait about an hour, smooth it out with that razor blade. It'll make your sanding much easier afterwards. So I'm just going to use that to just fill as a filler for those big recesses, and then I will fill the rest or even it out with proper isopon Bondo type stuff. But here it's just mostly for strength of the corner that I'm doing this. I still have over here to do. I actually put a small layer of fiberglass, liquid fiberglass resin, sorry, liquid resin, just so that it would seep in the wood, which it did. It's great and feels solid now. I have my nails in, and I'll do the same thing on here. All right, folks, bit of an update here. I've done this side here and I've repainted. You can see I've masked the artwork with some paper. I'm just finishing these small bits here. They're not too bad. That was the worst. There was a big gash here. So I'll do a few kind of sand pass, Bondo sand. But here there's no need for fiber. I'm just filling those two holes here that were used for just a security bar that operators would put in cabs, just to prevent people from ripping the front door to steal the money. But that left, you know, two big holes in a lot of modern cabs that you get now. You have this bar or two big holes if they remove the bar altogether. So filling those, sand them down. Actually here, once it's cleaned up, it's quite nice. It's quite clean. So yeah, this was where the biggest corner, there was a chunk gone, and all here was just it was eating into the artwork. So I think it's okay. I'll know for sure once I remove the artwork, well, the mask, and you can see still, you know, some marks and that kind of stuff. But it's just, you really have to be close, and it really depends on the light. For instance, yeah, you can't really see it that much. If you get it like that, you can definitely see it, and my dirty fingers. So it's going to be a trade-off of how pristine do I want it. I could just go again and sand it. It's going to take a few passes actually to even out all the sanding. To be honest, I don't see it. Just the camera brings it, but I don't really see it. It's the same here. Here didn't come out too bad actually. I've used some, oh yeah, you can see, oh my god, this really brings out the I can't even feel that. That just might be the camera artifact, but to be honest, it's not really visible, considering as well how bad a shape the cab was in. I'm absolutely fine with that. I've done this entire length there as well. You can see actually the black isn't quite the same. There's a different reflection from the original black in here. So what I might do once this is all done, I might just do a very light clear coat, and it'll I think hopefully blend some of the different hues of black, if I can describe it like that, together. But all in all, I mean, it's quite good. If I look at the next patch to do here, you can see how rough it is, and this was the best side. So this side was pretty bad. So yeah, I'm happy. So I'm going to wait for this to dry while I'm going to finish here. And then instead of flipping it over, I'm actually going to do the T-molding straight away. That way it'll be done. And also, the reason I want to do it first is because the cab needs to be on this side, because the T-molding goes all the way under. So while it's like that, it's saving me from moving it again. I'm going to staple one here, go around, come back, and then staple here in place and be done with this side. And then I can move on to the other side, which is should go much faster, because it's nowhere near as bad. But this cab was in very poor state indeed. At least I didn't have to replace any wood. I can see here some is that, oh, I thought it was a corrosion. No, it's just wood chipping. So would I bother doing that? Would I just put a coat of paint over this as well? Maybe some wood protector and a coat of paint just to strengthen it, and be happy with that. I think that's what I'll do. The edges here are okay. I'm going to leave them like that. Obviously clean them. Maybe here, just it doesn't seem to have taken any wood, so just cut that with a fine blade, and then just paint over it. Other than that, I think once all the this is all the cosmetics actually that will need to be done. There was one this big area here which I'm gonna do last once I've done everything, but I've already started, as you can see, just patching and fixing. It's kind of hard to get the exact same, it's not quite flush, but considering all the wood was chipping all the way up to here, you can see I've patched and painted here. I need to redo this and resand it slightly, but what I'll do is I'll wait until the cab is back up, and then so I'm waiting for this to dry properly. It's really hard in this section not to destroy the serial sticker, but we'll do our best. But yeah, so this is well, this is better than it was. Again, it's actually quite nice and smooth. So I might put just a first coat of paint. First coat of paint would actually help me see all the bumps once it's all uniform, one color. See where all the bumps are, sand that back, and then reapply paint or Bondo if needed, just to really smooth everything. But right now I'm not seeing too much. Yeah, you can see here it's like small gaps in the hole, so might need to yeah, I'm just gonna apply paint, sand, and re-Bondo afterwards. But I'm gonna do this once the cab is up. The back there as well, let me see if I can go around, is I had to do this as well. Well, and yeah, this came out quite well. I'm in a weird angle here. It's just straining on my abs. So let's keep working and finish this side, and then I'll do the T-molding. And there you go, folks. That's pretty much it here for this side. I've put the T-molding back on, so you can see there's a few scuffs and things like that, but they were here before. You can see all these marks over there and here. Battle damage I don't mind. There's still one thing I need to do, and it's here. You can see there's a difference between the two blacks. So you can see whatever that screen print here and here, that was probably done as a first layer, and then that went on top. So all along this edge, it doesn't really matter because there's a clear mark, but when it comes to here, those two blacks, which is painting off the cab, and this black here don't match. So I started blending them here on this side by just essentially using some very, very fine sandpaper, like 400 or is it 600, I can't remember. Just very fine, going taking my time and just blending them sort of in circular motion. So I started again. I've done it over there. There's a few blemishes here, I see. No, that's just dust and the light. So there's a big scratch here that sort of looks like it's well, it's gonna, yeah, making it difficult to find exactly where the line is, but I can see, actually it makes me swap hands. I still need to do this patch here, and then obviously all this area I still have to do all the way to here, and then here we're getting back into that sort of the limit of that screen print. So I'll do that next, just blend that. Well, I'll do that, no, sorry, I'll do the other side next. I'm going to flip this cab over and do the other side, and then I can do the blending like I did here. Can do the blending once the cab is upright. It might be easier actually to do that. I'll get to see better. So yeah, let's keep working. I probably won't fix the other side because it's going to be the same stuff as here, just fixing that corner here. You can see I lost a tiny bit of artwork, but not too much, and I'm okay with that, to be honest, because it'll be in the far end corner. It won't, I mean, probably won't even be visible. In fact, the most visible is all these scratches on the art. But like I said, I don't mind battle damage too much. I can live with that. Brings a bit of history to the cab. So yeah, let's blend this afterwards once the cab is upright, and then we can worry about the insides. Alright, I lied. Well, this time I use, I'm showing you the other side here. This time I actually use just a mask here with some masking paper, and just poured some liquid resin. I find this actually grips a lot better. Bondo has a tendency to flake. This is very, very solid. Yeah, Bondo is not really structural, and something as critical or as fragile as corners, it will have a tendency to flake off. So Yeah, that's what I'm using here for this side. So we'll see if it makes a difference. But anyway, so I have that just done all over the cab, and I just need to sand it back down flush, and hopefully we'll get nice sharp corners. There you go. All right, I think we're all done here. Hello, dude. I think we're all done here. So that's the sides restore. So really, the big damage was that was the medium damage in this corner. I still have to do some blending here between those two blacks, but that's okay. I can do that in time, and the cab is upright as well. Actually, no. What am I saying? No. This is the sticker. This is the end of the sticker, or the whatever, the overlay or something like that. I'll see if I can just maybe blend them a little bit, so it doesn't show as much. But I mean, you know, up close you see it. Here you don't see it. So this is the worst side of the art. You can see all this kind of flake in here. This is gone here. But I mean, it's a big gouge. I'm not sure if this is meant to be a gouge, or it looks like it is, because this is silk screen, so it's all done in layers. And you can see the layer underneath here. Big massive gouge in the wood. I might actually just see if I can patch that with just some black, at least just to protect the wood. There's another section here gone, but do you know, it's battle damage. I bought it as a non-working cab, but knowing it was battle damaged, and just the fact that the wood is restored, I'm happy with that. And I'm just a custodian of this this cab until, you know, I die and somebody else gets it, or I get sick of it and I sell it. But so I leave that to the next person, maybe, to change all the art. There is also this other side, which was where the wood was actually the worst, and I spent most time, but the art was okay. The art was actually okay, but yeah, here, so this corner was completely gone. Dude is shouting at the neighbor there. So this corner was completely gone. I only lost this tiny bit of art, something like that here. This corner wasn't great either, and this side was just yeah, it was just, this side was the worst as far as the wood was concerned. But I patched that. Now I've just sanded back some of this area, so I'm just gonna apply another layer of paint and see where I am at. Still have this edge to do, but you know, it's just stuff I'm gonna do little bit by bit. As far as the cap is concerned, this is sound, and I shouldn't put all my dusty fingers all over it. New T-molding as well, so handy to have this on the wheels. So put brand new T-molding, because the other one was just, it was just too far gone. It was really it had lost its flex, and it was just dirty, filthy I'd say. So next, I think the control panel is pretty much ready to go back. I'm not going to do anything to this control panel. It's only one small patch here that I might just patch with spray paint. But other than that, I'm going to leave. These are the buttons I restored. So I think the next job is to work on those power supplies. But as far as this cab is concerned, I need to remove the masking here, masking tape. As far as this cab is concerned, I think this is it for this video, for the cosmetic restoration of this Asteroid cab. I'm pretty happy. It wasn't meant to be just a complete restore. It was just basic maintenance on the wood. Give it another maybe 20 years, and if somebody else, once I'm sick of this cab, I probably won't be, because I wanted an Asteroid for so long, but whoever else gets it after me will probably want to replace the art. I'm not going to do that. I like the fact that it's still original. I like the battle scars, and it's still okay. Either side actually are still rather okay. I mean, this is the worst side, but it's still you know, I can very much live with that. And yeah, so next job is going to be to work on the power supplies, that big blue box, and the AR board. So here I got an Atari AR board. It's the first type that that was used on Asteroid, and but this one already, I know it's not working, but already I'm guessing what's wrong here. This is a diode, and it doesn't look too healthy, to be honest. So I'm just gonna do well, I'm just gonna check that it's indeed failed, but I think we can pretty much guess that it has. I'm also going to recap all these, change all these caps. I think I have spare ones on hand, and I've already a spare one, a diode here. I'm going to check this diode as well. It's the same type, and check this one as well. Well, I could check the transistors, but these are used for audio. I could check this one actually, just a quick check. Other than that, I'm just gonna replace that. I mean, I can pretty much tell that this is the problem. We got our 5 volt is coming in. The way these works is to supply 5 volt through this or is it this line here? Is it? Yeah. But here there's a sensor. Well, there's two sensors, a negative and a plus here, and these are going to this to this regulator that regulates the 5 volt, this round thing here with all these pins, and so this guy is going here, going to the regulator, and this other guy is going here, sorry, but that's connected to this diode that's connected to ground. So the way this works is the board. This is early stuff, 79. So the board would would supply 5 volt to the board, but because the demands on the 5 volt rail from the board could be quite high, sometimes it can drop, sometimes it can fluctuate, and this is what this thing does. It senses the voltage and just regulates that. So if it drops to 4.7, something like that, 4.6, it would send a bit more just to bring it back to 5 volt. That works well in theory, but it's susceptible to your connectors, for example, being clean, or general resistance in your cables. But the edge connector on the board and your edge connector, especially if you have different metals, it could cause some extra resistance, or corrosion or things like that can affect all of that. So sometimes it has a tendency just to, if it detects that it's not getting 5 volt properly, probably because there's some corrosion on the edge connector, it cranks up the 5 volt, and this can lead to typically burnt resistors. Normally there would be a resistor here, as far as I know, on the AR2 boards, but here it's a diode, but these can burn. So let's change that. Let's recap this thing while we have it out, and we'll see what happens after it. Well, it didn't take very long. As soon as I used my solder gun and desoldered the legs, this broke. It probably was broken already. So yeah, we need to change that anyway. Whether that's the reason my 5 volt. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain. The 5 volt on this guy wasn't supplying 5 volt. It was actually supplying 10 volt to the board, which is not great. So there's probably some damage to the board. This is part of a bigger restoration of an Asteroid cabinet, but I'm doing this one on its own because it might be interesting if you're picking this one up, and if you're just looking for an extra video on somebody fixing these. So I've desoldered this as well. I'm just going to test it sort of out of circuit, like so, and this guy as well. Just going to test them just because I've the board out, and might as well. And there could be more damage than what's obviously damaged here. And then I'm gonna just replace all of these. Right, so I changed these caps. I didn't have any radial ones for these, or here or here. I just had radials for these guys. So these two here, the big ones, those big radial ones. Is it these ones? Yeah. Both of them tested well, just high ESR. This is an ESR tester here, and they didn't check out good. So it was good to change them. I think they look like they are something to do with the audio. Yeah. Which is fair enough. These guys tested okay, so but it's still good to change them, and these guys were absolutely fine. These were just on the limit of ESR, so it was good to change them. These guys were fine, but look, it's good to change them. These boards, I mean, this is 7982, something like that. Asteroid. What is in it? No, yeah, 79. Can't remember. If they haven't been changed, it doesn't look like they had been, because the solder was pretty clean, not in my shoddy type of work. So it's good to change them, and I changed the diode. This is a, where is it? This is, I had it somewhere. It says, what does it say here? It doesn't say much. What does it say here? CR1, CR2, CR2, yeah, 2 and 3, sorry. These are 4001 diodes. So I had a few on hand, so I just I changed this one that was faulty. These two diodes, this one and this one, which is the same one as this guy, tested fine. No real reason to change them. I don't see any traces of burn to resistors or anything like that. I haven't tested the transistors. I'm just gonna put this back and see if that did the trick and fixed our 5-volt rail. Alright, so I got the power supply here. Is the big blue cap. It's cleaned somewhat. While it's here, I might as well just do more dust removal if I can. So here we have those two fuses, those two 7-amp fuses, and they both blew at some point. This one is stable now, it's not blowing, but this one keeps blowing. So if I look at the back here, I've already detached here, but this is where the big blue cap come. That's our 2 lines, and they go through these well, there's 2 normally, just giant diodes. That's what they are, giant diodes, and into the cap. The cap helps regulate the 10 point something volt, 10.6 volt unregulated DC to the AR board. And when I was looking here, so those 2 diodes, this one was fine, but this one is fried. It's actually shorted on both sides, and yeah, so might as well replace it. So I'm going to order 2, and might as well, I need to replace it. I'm going to order 2, and I might as well replace this one as well. So I'll do just that. And I've ordered a new big blue cap, which is going to be black, but this can cause a lot of trouble as well if it's not working properly. So I've the block out. I've no reason to believe that's the cause, but I've the block out and might as well replace it anyway and just be done with it. I mean, these things are 30 years old now. They would have been fairly dried up. So new cap, new diode, and hopefully that will solve our problems, general problems with the power supply on the Asteroid. So let's do that. All right, so we replaced our big blue cap with this one. This comes from Arcade Parts and Repair. It's all the way from the US, so you have to wait a few days if, like me, you're in Europe to get it. But there you go. If you're unsure, because here there's no visible other than underneath sign of polarity, and here is the negative side. If you're unsure, you can see, actually, this is going to be awkward with one hand. Let me just try this. There you go. This thing is heavy. If you're unsure of the polarity, this board here will tell you exactly, thank you phone, where the negative sign is, and it's, well, it's under here anyway. But this board has just a negative sign there, so it'll let you know where to put it. This is so heavy. Anyway, so negative goes on this side. But just double check if you have that board underneath. There should be a sign somewhere. The other thing, so there's no fuse here. I'll put one, and here this is our AR board. Just replace that thing, recapped it. You've seen that already. So now, also I cleaned it. Look at it. Look how clean it is, and I'm not afraid to touch it anymore. And now you can also see all the markings and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good thing to spend a bit of time on it. So we're gonna just put these back in the cab and see if that brought our 10 volt and 5 volt, more importantly, back. and then we can just try and plug the board in and see if that board is working at all before we do anything to it. Alright, while I'm at it, I actually got a second AR board. This one was obviously very faulty. I started replacing the caps. It's a little note actually, this is a slightly different revision of the same serial number, which is interesting, or same model number, which is yeah, interesting. This one is actually visible traces on the top part here, so you want to be careful replacing some of the caps because they can actually bridge over the trace. That's why you normally have these when you have stuff like that, so they actually, there's no lead going over traces. So I just put a little piece of electrical tape just over them, just to make sure that there's no contacts. I still have those two to replace. I'm going to do that here. I only got these guys, so that's what I replaced them with. And you may have noticed the connectors here are well, best described as fucked. So I need to these are the crimps. The problem is these crimps solder onto the board, so I need to find out exactly what type they are, and I'm gonna uncrimp these, remove those. Should be able to push them out from the back, I think, and then recrimp them. I just want to make sure that I get the orientation exactly the same. Which one? Yeah, this is here. So I'm gonna do that. First, I'm gonna try and find out what crimps these are. These are Molex type connectors, but the crimps, I don't know. I'll have to find out. Anyway, let's go internet. That's it. It took a while. Well, a day. I posted a few messages on the forums, and I got a lot of reply, but none that were actually useful. People who were telling me it's Molex connectors. I know that. But first, thank you very much for even replying. But yeah, no, I know these were Molex connectors. What I was trying to find out was what type of crimps these are. So this little bit here solders onto the back. Excuse my dirty fingers, I was working on the cab today. So I'm going to put these in. These are the guys. Yeah, this is the part number you want, 0209 1134. So I got a few, I got enough for this, so I'm gonna recrimp this connector and solder it back. So if you're wondering how to put these on, so this is the pad that solders onto the board, and you slide them from underneath. You see those little tabs here, they will lock in place once they're inside, so it's gonna be tricky to do with one hand, but I will do my best, and my best is not very good. And there you go. And then just very gently, you're gonna hear a click. There you go. So that's one done. I'm gonna do the other one, and to push them out you need one of these little tools. They come in different sizes. I don't know what they're called, but if you find uncrimping tool or decrimp tool, and I'm just pushing them back from underneath. That's what you get, and then you can use pliers just to pry them out like that. Anyway, there you go. We got a new connectors, new caps. Hopefully this is fixed. I did check this guy, test fine. These transistors test fine. All the diodes tested okay. So I'm gonna take it on faith, and hope that it's now working, or it should be. Let's go try these boards in the cab now. Right, I got the first AR board in the cab, and the good news, I see the red light here. I'm reading 5.47. It's probably a bit too high. I'm not going to keep this on for longer, but I just need to adjust. You can adjust the 5 volt here, this little pot guy, trim pot. So I'll do that, and let's test the other AR board. Okay, second AR board. I have my leads in the test points. You want to be careful here not to touch this diode here. I don't know if you can see it. This is it a diode? Yeah, it's a diode. So especially leaving it like that. Anyway, let's power this guy, and all right, we got power to the board, and we got 5 here, 0.33. I think we can call this a success. The whole point was to get the power section first cleaned up, because this was filthy. And I'm gonna hoover the inside now, just make this nice and clean, and secure everything in here. and then we can move on to stuff like the monitor and the board. So I think for this video, and this is it, folks, I'm going to leave it at that. This is a partial success on the way to restoring this, when was it, 1979 Asteroid, Atari Asteroid cab. Really happy. This is taking shape, and the cab is looking great. Anyway, AR board and power brick and Big Blue and all that kind of stuff changed and working now. So we got power to the board. Next time, I think we'll probably have a look at if the game isn't even starting. So right now it's getting power. I don't know if it's starting, if there's an error message or anything like that. I suppose I could check the I've the control panel connected. Yes, I do. I could technically check if there is anything coming here. Usually if the game is waiting for something. Oh, these buttons are stuck. Yeah, there's not much happening. I'm not hearing any sound, so the board probably isn't booting. Which actually brings me to the next topic. Should I spend time myself on the board and the hardware I don't really know much about, or send it somewhere to get fixed and get that out of the way and then focus on the monitor instead? The monitor is here. It will need some maintenance. I'm going to recap the high voltage and this section here. Just do some just check on diodes and transistors and that kind of stuff before I do anything. I replug it back. So yeah, I think that would be probably safest. Even if it is working as it is now, it's out. It's a good opportunity to do some maintenance. It's not gonna be working forever with these old caps and old parts that can be easily changed now that it's out. So I spent the last time I done work on the AR boards. I just serviced them, so I put that back in, and I actually got the board back. I decided to send it to Mark at Retro Clinic. The reason is I don't have a test bench, or I didn't have one at the time, and I didn't have an XY oscilloscope, so it's easier to send it to him. However, in the meantime, my friend Mozzie sent me one. He found one, and he found two. He kept one for himself and sent me one. So it's perfect. I'm going to see if it works indeed. We're also going to see if the monitor works now. But I want to mention Mark Haseman work. So whatever there was no issue with the board really, other than having to change all the sockets. So we replaced the old sockets, new ROMs, because the old one, as soon as he took the ROM and processor, the legs started to fall off. I did a full shotgun here in the output section. New caps, I believe, new dip switches here and here. So look, it's worth sending it to him because he does a great job. It's really clean, and it's super clean, in fact. Oh, he changed all these are 7805 and different stuff for the output section. So yeah, a really nice job, really clean job, very professional, super well packed in one of these anti-static ones. A few layers of that, and then he sends you back all the old stuff that's also gone. So yeah, really nice, really happy with that. So let's power this on and see what happens. I heard the speaker come to life. So our board is running. We're right on 5 volt, 4995. By the way, when you see stuff like 5.5 without any load, or even 6, it's most likely fine. The board needs a load just to self-regulate. There's a sense kind of system that it just self-regulates back to 5 volt, and we're right on 5 volt here. Some people do a mod. I haven't. I just fixed whatever damage was done. Obviously, probably blue because of dirty connectors, so something we'll have to address. Maybe I'll just plug in the 5 volt. directly. There's a 5-volt section there where you can plug in the 5-volt directly. To avoid dirty connectors, this is what happens, you know, on these boards. Fuse board was clean, fuse holders were cleaned. I actually blew 2 fuses more when I was just testing stuff, so it just tells me that there was kind of dirt and corrosion, so I just cleaned those. They're nice and shiny now. I don't think, no, we have no image. Actually, these should be lit, I believe. And have we a spot killer? Yeah, we still have the spot killer. So the monitor needs the service. But we're going to try and just connect this guy and see what happens. I've never done this before. So here you've got this here, this rail and this rail. This is X and Y. And I believe this is where you just need to plug these guys. And we're going to ground it here, because we don't want any interference. The other one is right here. Just bear with me. Come on, come on, come on, there you go. We'll do the same here. It's probably a 5-volt ground point somewhere, but my wires aren't fast enough. Let's power this on. And let's power this guy on and see what we get. Oh, so we got some movement. We got stuff happening, but we need to go in XY mode, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's not. Where is the XY mode? Here. Okay. Oh, do you see that? Something passed on the screen. Looked like a giant asteroid. There it is. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Why is this crooked? I'm just tinkering here, but I don't fully know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. No, we need to be AC. There you go. Well, I think we're That's it. That's it. It's working. I do see some. So I've X and Y. There's a Z as well. I'm not sure what Z is. Is it for intensity, like brightness, or is it for, like, I'm seeing artifacts here that probably shouldn't be here. Is it because of my scope? Is it because the board just developed a new error? It happens. I mean, that's the thing, you know, when you get, and that's one of the reasons I've stopped preparing boards for people. You have to accept that as soon you get your board repaired, it's not like it's a service. You can't just do a service, preventive service, and spot stuff that will fail in the future. So you repair what's fixed, and it can happen that as soon as it leaves the workshop, something else failed, and that's just the nature of it. So we might have something like that here, but I won't know for sure until that monitor is fixed. Can I just power it? Can I just do anything to it? I want to see if the audio is working. Yeah, no, I need to credit it. We'll take let me just get my hands back. Right, I've where is it? I've this clip here, and I'm just gonna touch. There's a few tabs here, so I'm just gonna touch the coin tab. There's a coin here, that should do the trick. A few times, and I don't know. Start. Yeah, push start on top. So we credited it, and where's the start one here? Yeah. Come on, reconnect. But our sound is working. There's our ship. There's the... so our sound is working fine. There's probably a whatever geometry issue here going on, but it could just be because of my oscilloscope. Have we any light here by any chance? Oh no, this button's lit, so these work. That's good to know too. Let me lower the volume here. This doesn't work anymore. Oh yeah, we need to enter our names. Look at that. Can you see a change? Yeah, there's a refresh isn't helping there. But it works. There you go. So we've a working board. So I think next in this video is going to be addressing the monitor and getting the monitor back working, and then we'll see if there's any extra errors that have developed on this guy. But this this is really encouraging. Cool. Let's keep working. All right, folks. On the bench, I have the chassis for my Asteroid monitor. Wells Gardner 19V 2000, something like that. Can't remember. Should be written here somewhere. Anyway, so I'm in the process of recapping. So I've done the high voltage board there. There's only 3 caps on this guys. One here, one here, one here. This one should be still fine. It's kind of hard to find, so we're gonna just leave it there. It's not a high failure rate, this one. And here there's a couple of issues. So first I checked the bridge rectifier here was shorted, so we're going to replace that. And then I found a blown fuse, which is not surprising if this is shorted. So we're going to replace those two. I checked the resistors here that normally go here. So this one tested fine. There's some yellowing underneath, obviously, but this one actually, because there are a few ohms, only just a few ohms, just really high wattage. But this one was actually like a few mega ohms, so it's probably gone at this stage, and that's what happens to them. In fact, they recommend from Wells Gardner at factory, they actually ended up making a revision and replacing them with just a high gauge wire. So I'm going to do that. I have here an old flyback anode lead. This thing carries 20,000 volts, so we're gonna replace it, those things with that. And here the rest is a capacitor. So there's 1, 2, there's 1, 3, 4, and there's another 1, 5 here to replace. And these little guys as well needs to be replaced. These look like the old whatever tantalum capacitor type of stuff, and you replace those with the electrolytics as well. They're polarized, so we're going to replace those as well, and hopefully that'll sort our problem. I've also reflowed already the connectors, so they should be nice and clean. And these guys tested fine. I also tested the all the transistors here, and they seem okay. So I'm going to put them back, and hopefully that'll fix our problem. But let's solder these things back on. Oh, I'm still waiting, by the way, on a bridge rectifier, so I'm going to have to wait for that to arrive as well to put it back on. But for now, I can just replace everything else. Actually, quick note, because somebody will notice, you see these capacitors here, they have 3 legs, which is rather unusual nowadays. And essentially, this one leg is positive, here, positive, and the other 2 are, well, with negative opposite side. And I believe, I'm not sure if these are internally connected, but if you look underneath the board, I see 2 of the legs here actually connect to the same point. So as long as you get the positive one in the right place, the other ones don't really matter where you put them. So you could actually, if this is positive, you could connect them like that or like that. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just it can be confusing if you're not used to it, and then you'll be searching the internet for three-legged capacitors for ages before you realize they're the same thing, really. It's just because they're so big and bulky, it's just to stabilize them a little bit. Anyway, let's keep working. All right, so I'm in the process of refitting all the transistors. So I'm cleaning everything, just applying some thermal paste. You need some here and over the mica. I need to clean those as well. Cleaning the old one here, and you just reconnect everything via those screws here. So the reason the mica is to prevent the case of the transistor to connecting with the chassis. So we'll double check that as well. Just make sure there's no continuity. Make sure everything here connects properly. There's no broken lines or anything like that. And continue on. So next I have done. I've recapped the high power section, so I'm gonna put that back together, and I've put new caps pretty much everywhere here. The new small 1 microfarad, I think that's what they are over there. New bridge rectifier that I seemingly thought are slightly crooked, slightly. New. Well, no, it's this one. New fuse. Replace the big resistors that had failed. You replace them in pair. Even if one is good, you just replace them in pair. Don't leave one and then bridge the other one. That's just that's not good. I checked all the transistors here. They all checked fine. I checked all the diodes. They all checked fine. So we'll put everything together slowly, and once I'm done, I've cleaned the tube slightly as well because it was just filthy. Done as much as I could here just to clean everything. I'm a bit worried about the anode cup because one of the hooks is broken, so I might have to see if I can replace that at some point. It's very rigid plastic as well. I don't see how it can make a good seal. I don't know. We're about to find out. So we'll put everything back together, thank you, and clean everything, and then test in the cab. I'm doing everything very slowly at the moment because I've had very little time to work on everything. So all these update probably happens like a few days apart. So for me, it might be another week or two before I can test everything. All right, so I got the monitor ready to go in. Can't remember if I documented any of it, but here it is. So I've just replaced the 2 resistors. The thank God I checked because the what I thought was a 3 amp fuse, and I did actually put a 3 amp fast blow fuse. It's actually a 5 amp slow blow, so it would probably have blown anyway, and then maybe taken another amp or other things in the process. So thank God I caught that. Checked everything. I wasn't happy with the way the filter caps, the new filter caps were kind of moving on, and I don't have any epoxy glue, so for now I'm just going to keep the original ones. The other ones I've changed. New bridge rectifier. What else did we change? I think that was it, and obviously new caps. Same here, new caps for the high voltage. This is needed. You need to put that back on to avoid RF or just static interference. Your image will wobble otherwise if you don't do that. And here a new anode cup that I spliced from an old monitor, and I just used some heat shrink, a few layers of heat shrink. Just to seal and insulate, so hopefully that'll do the trick. And this is much better as an anode. The other one was just the plastic was too old, it was too rigid, and there's no way it would have provided, the whole thing would have arced all over the screen. So that's the thing you need to consider, maybe changing the anode cup. So I use the old wire because it's connected then to the diode, the original diode, the high voltage diode, and there's a little cup and that kind of stuff. So I used that, and then I just desoldered the hook. Oh yeah, and the hook was broken anyway on the old one, and so I used the hook from the new one and just resoldered everything inside there directly. So hopefully we'll see. Fingers crossed. I've never actually done anything like that, so Let's see, let's put this back in. The cool thing about it is there's only one plug. That's it, you're done. So it's easy to move in and out. All right, let's re-screw everything properly and test this. All right, folks, so I got the monitor chassis back in. You can see the beautiful neck glow. You can hear the high voltage chatter, hopefully. And I got some good news. Oh my god. Oh, I am so happy. This is the first attempt at fixing one of these. And yeah, delighted. It's actually, god, there's no noise or anything. It's perfect. There's no movement. I was expecting some wobble or things like that, but no, it's gorgeous. Sorry, the light is a bit funny here. I've got some reflection, but there you go. Oh, this is really cool. I'm not sure about I don't think I have. No, I don't have free play enabled, so I'm gonna have to set that up and have a few games. And woo! I'm so happy. It's been a while. It's taken a while because I was just busy with other stuff, and that's the thing, you know, on this channel at this stage. I'm slowing down the release of videos. It's still going to be videos, but it's just I won't be able to release a video every week. Obviously, you've seen that, so it'd probably be smaller installments as well of videos. But I'm still making content. I still have this to fix, and hopefully I've another cab coming at some point, pandemic allowing, this year. So we'll see, and I won't spoil the surprise, or I won't jinx it either. But there you go. So I'm gonna tidy everything, and then after this I need to take care of the art. I need to glue the panels back together, and we still have the coin door. And what I have for the coin door, well, this is the old coin door here, and it's filthy and disgusting and brr. But what I have is one of those, and I've seen those on Asteroids and Atari cabs, and I'm wondering, will it look better? And I do like those silver doors quite a lot. Will it fit first? It might fit the old frame. I might see if I can fit on the old frame, and will it look better? I do like those metal panels, so I'll see. But you know what? I think I'll do this in a separate video, and for the sake of providing some content and update on this cab, it's been a long time coming. I might just release this video early and then deal with everything else afterwards. We still have some cleaning to do. Winter has we're still in winter, but I was worried that I'll get some more rust and things like that, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I need just to tidy as well, or clean those focus, start my life, clean and maybe respray those bolts here, and a few other things around. So there's still some tidying to do, and then we need to move it. I need to find a space in the arcade at the moment, and there's one cab that is going away. I'm actually giving that to my brother, and this one might take the place of where the Double Dragon cab is, and then I need to put this one on the other cab. I might need to move the pinball altogether out of there. The display on the pinball is kind of messed up, so I need to fix that as well. So I might bring the pinball here for maintenance and repair at some point, and just move all the cabs there, and then figure out where I'm going to put this pinball. Maybe just move the pinballs, just have the pinballs in the blue shed over there. It's time to tackle this control panel that is in horrendous condition. It's somewhat complete. I see it's missing one of the leaf switches here for the bottom. The mechanics are, well, the coin acceptors are here. I don't need them, really, but it's cool that they're here. I might see if somebody needs them. I think they're for the US. I don't know if they can be repurposed in any way. I think these things are weighted specifically for certain coins. If anybody knows about these, actually, can they be repurposed for different coins, it'll be cool. I had actually put new new bulbs here, LED bulbs, so I know these are working. But the front, I mean, first it's filthy. I'm gonna have to clean it. I can see some traces of rust. We're gonna have to respray the whole thing. We're gonna have to take it apart. Here, look at this. Somebody drew a hole in this button. We can't have that. And here it's all smashed to pieces. Luckily, so my initial plan was to take this metal frame, or this metal one here, but it's a different size. The frame doesn't fit. I'd have to cut the cab. I don't want to do that. I've done enough work on this Asteroid cab, so I'm gonna save this for another project. We'll see what I can. Maybe I can repurpose it somewhere. But I have this spare one here, and actually I'm gonna put those buttons here in it. 10p buttons from you know, back when things were in pounds in Ireland, and pence, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. They'll be better than these ones. So I'm gonna put these on there, and I think these are standard. I'm guessing, I'm hoping, but these look like the same type, so I'm gonna use those to replace there, and take it from there. Here, I don't think there's much I can salvage. Actually, I can use one of the buttons, and I'll have a spare one if the other one doesn't work, so that's handy. Yeah, I think we'll be able to make this decent coin door. The other thing is, on this cab there is no back door, so I forgot about that, so I'm gonna have to make a back door for it. It shouldn't be too hard. And there's some minor stuff I still hadn't done the edge here, and here maybe I'll redo that. I'm not sure. There's probably no point at this stage. I just really wanted to salvage this and, you know, make it usable. Like the bottom one was the biggest problem. All the edges here were worn and all that, so we fixed all that as best as we could, or as best as I could. I know it's not perfect, but it works for me. And then we'll be able to move this in the game room. All right, so I got the coin door all dismantled. This actually comes out of it as a whole unit, so it's that's perfect. I decided not to do anything here because it's actually still very clean and tidy, so I might just do some patches of paint here and there, but actually probably not, maybe just here, but that's it. But I couldn't see any rust or anything like that, so but here was quite a bit of rust underneath the paint, so it's stripped, and I'm just using some rust treatment, and letting that just act for a few minutes, and then clean that. Maybe just give it a top coat right away of or top coat, primer coat right away, just to seal and protect, and then do a few more layers whenever it's a bit warmer, because it's quite cold at the moment. I have all the other bits salvaged from this guy as well, and so I have a few of these. They were plastic on the original one, so I'm taking the ones from here that are metal. I'm saving those, but I mean, there's a big hole in this one. I'm not sure. Actually, that would be salvageable if it had a sticker, but the other ones were just nice and pristine and tidy, so I might just clean them a bit more afterwards. I don't know why I kept that's broken. I'll replace those as well, and the other ones was entirely missing, and I'll be able to salvage, or I've been able to salvage one of the leaf switch for the coins, so that's always good. Click, 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 click. This is getting better. It's funny how it works. It just after a few minutes, it was covered in rust. After a few minutes, you can see it's actually just spreading from a few patches and little prick holes here and there. But yeah, this is much better already. But you need to apply quite a generous coat. Ideally, you'd want to submerge them, you know, like these guys. But If you can't, obviously you just need to apply regular generous coats, because the coat you put previously probably loses its effect after a while as it reacted. Anyway, let's keep going. Right, the primer coat, you kind of need to move fast. As soon as you remove the rust, dried it, because it's cold and damp, it's winter at the moment, just dried it thoroughly. I heated it up as well, just to remove a lot, or dry up a lot of the dampness and water that could cling on it. And right away just apply a primer coat. If you leave it to rest, the rust will come back. So you really want to move fast on this here. You know, you have a few minutes, of course, but don't stop. Once you de-rust, don't stop and pick it up, you know, a week after, because you'll have to redo all your work. So leave that dry for a day or two, and then we'll start applying coats of black paint. In the meantime, I'm going to clean the other little bits, the coin acceptor, the coin chute, and I think will be a nice. I can't remember what this hole is for. It's actually just noticing this now. I suppose it'll all come clear. Is it something that comes out this unit? No, I don't think so. Interesting. We'll see. Oh, there's a little test button. Oh, of course, yeah. There's a test menu on the Asteroid. Okay, let's go. All right, folks. So here it is. I didn't film much more of that because it was just essentially just respraying some black. I think I did an okay job trying to texture that paint by just spraying it in very small coats from a distance, and it just it made the paint slightly splatter, and so I did about 10 coats like that. It was rather tedious, but I think the result is pretty good to have that sort of textured effect that you have on most metals on arcade stuff. So there you go. Looks lovely with those new frames, using those buttons here. They all work fine. And I had a coin here somewhere. There you go. No, not that. I can't remember. Anyway, I found a coin in this thing, and it's a quarter, US quarter. Don't know where it's gone now, but so all the coin mechanics work fine, and I've put a new switch. Actually, no. What am I saying? This switch here didn't work, so I put it underneath, but it's not connecting. So I'm gonna have to find. There's a problem with this switch. It's actually the screws are the other way around, and I can't, so it won't fit. It won't fit like that because the screws is here and here, and it should be here and here. And putting it on the other side doesn't work either, because they don't quite align actually. So I have it on one screw here. So whatever these switches are, I'm gonna have to source them if I want this coin acceptor or mechanics to work. I didn't plug these back. I'll do that some other time, or maybe not. I tested the coin switch. It all tests fine and works. So I mean, there's still a few scratches, as you can see, stuff like that. Again, this is not a pristine restoration. This is just getting this cab back to being looking sound. There's a hole here. I don't know what this was for. It's about getting this cab looking, you know, clean and tidy and sound overall, and I leave a full restoration for somebody else when this cab and myself part ways, which is probably not going to be anytime soon, hopefully. But yeah, there you go. So side's looking fine. So there's one last job to do, which is the back door. And unfortunately, because of the lockdown right now, I'm not able to get to any hardware shop that would have wood that size. The only option is to get a large sheet of wood and just cut that, but then I don't know what to do with the rest afterwards. So I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I'll see if I can measure it properly and get Fiona, because Fiona can't travel. She's a health worker, so Maybe I'll get her to pick something in a hardware store, because this would be too short for this video. So maybe that's the road we'll take. I'll measure this and see if she can grab something. There you go. That's what I'll do. But the door is working fine now. The lights light up, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to switch this on here because it has been cold for the last few days, and I usually wait for a couple of dry days when the cabs are here to switch them back on. So, but I know it works. It actually worked yesterday. it was just cold overnight, and wet now. So there you go. So yeah, last thing is that back door, make a new one, and we'll be able to move this cab out of the way and focus on this guy. I have artwork coming from Arcade Art Shop, so that's gonna be it's gonna be nice to have this cab looking all red and white. Let's keep working. Right, folks, so I decided not to work on the back door yet because I still can't go anywhere. I mean, there's no hardware shop that will have the wood I need here for this. So for now, I'm gonna ignore this and I'll make a back door in time. However, I need to move this out of this shed here. It's not made for really keeping electronics for a long period of time, especially in winter. So we're gonna move this into the shed. Problem is, or the arcade shed, sorry. Problem is the arcade shed is kind of full right now. It's kind of full right now. It's lights on, and there's not much room. However, this cab here is going to come out altogether, and this is going as a gift to my young brother who bought a house in the last few years, and he's got a big garage and he's gonna put a little man cave in there. So I'm gonna give this to him as a present for his man cave. I'm gonna put instead of 1942 as there is now, I'm gonna put a 16-1. In fact, that's what it's running now, a 16-1, because I've actually I wasn't playing this cab at all. You know, after making it, and I realized it just yeah, I just wasn't playing it, and it hasn't had much play, much love. I put a 16-1 for people who, when they come here and they're asking, you know, about I have Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Galaga, but sometimes they ask about something else. Like I can show them in a 16-1 and they can play that. Like Quicks actually was actually a cool one to play in this, or Frogger. But it's surplus here, so I'm gonna move this out. Also, the DMD display on this guy is dead. I had a spare one and it's fried as well. I'm gonna have to replace them at some point, maybe by a color DMD, or maybe you get one of those color DMDs, put that in the white waters in the other shed, and put the other standard DMD in here for now. But I never really restored this properly. Like, there's still some amount of rust underneath, and some cosmetic stuff I could do. The crane, I still don't have the crane. So I've been thinking about just taking this out of this shed altogether, and in fact moving the pinballs over to the blue shed and all the other arcade machines in here instead. So I might put Outrun in the corner. I'm gonna have to just change some of the stuff here. I'll see how to go about it. I might actually move some of these cabs over there and I have the big original ones here. I don't know. I'll see. But it might not be a bad idea to start when moving these out and moving the Asteroid back in. And then I have that. I'm getting artwork done by Ollie, arcadeartshop.com, and for the puzzle bubble cab that I'm working on as well. So that's gonna go in here as well. So it's yeah, it's not bad. So I'm gonna have to shift stuff around, maybe address the spin ball properly, just give it a proper restore, and yeah. So I'm gonna have to move stuff out and shift stuff. So let's maybe do that now, and then we can deal with the Asteroid and see what our new lineup is. So I think that's going to be our video for, or the rest of this video really. Right, I got everything just moved out of the way. This area, this corner here is clear. I'll be able to put, I'd say 1, 2, 3 cabs here. Maybe a small cabaret one here, meaning I'll have actually more space. I'll have a ton more space for cabs here if I've moved the pinballs out, and they are gonna go over there. I do have the Naomi there as well. I'm wondering if it would fit here. Probably not the top. I'll have to remove the marquee, which would be a shame. Anyway, so I'm taking this pinball down. Back legs first, so I support the back. Take the back legs, remove the support. Flat down. I'm gonna have to secure this as well with straps, and then you put it on its back here, standing up. I'll show you all that, and then you take the front legs off and off onto a trolley. It's awkward on your own, but it's not, you know, it's not impossible. It's actually easy enough. Can I just secure this? No. Yeah, anyway, never mind. All right, that's one pair of legs. And I'm gonna take these. So you do want to secure this, because this hinges this way, so you don't want to fall over. It'll shatter the glass and break stuff. So you don't want to do that. Another thing you don't want to do, which I did, but you don't want to do, is leave the balls inside, because they'll all fall to the bottom, and God knows where they'll end up. Hopefully they didn't break anything. They didn't smash. I didn't hear them smashing into anything, but that was stupid of me. I should have thought of that. Anyway, let's take these, move this out, and move the new stuff in. Where would I put Outrun? Would I put that in the corner over there? Maybe in that corner. It'll give us the most space. I don't know. I'll see. Tempted to move the... oh, I don't know. We'll see. I might just move... It'll be easier to move Outrun first. Put it somewhere. Because it's heavy, bulky. It needs a lot of room to maneuver, so yeah, let's do that. Let's move Outrun first. And well, this first. Oh my god, folks. So I realigned everything here. Do you know, I could actually gain like a few precious inches by moving this box here, but it's not a problem. Like, you know, we're trying to squeeze as many cabs in one place as we can here, but I essentially... So I moved a pinball and one of the one I'm giving to my brother. I have room. Let me squeeze all this stuff. I'm going to do that afterwards. But I have room for another cabaret here. One of these guys. So it's actually just going to come here where Donkey Kong was. I moved Donkey Kong's. I moved Pac-Man here right beside Outrun, because it actually allows to see some of the artwork of Outrun, which was kind of hidden. It's not a perfect cab, you know. There's some scratches, but like I said, I do not mind battle marks. They certainly all have battle marks, and these ones were created as a converted cab by poker cab. So was this one. But anyway, so I am thinking I'm gonna move this guy over there, and I'll put Asteroid right here. It'd be one of the first things you see when you come in, or for the sake of space and size, should I just put the Naomi here and save some space? I don't know. I also have that other the what's it called, the candy cab thing, or wannabe cab. So I might move. Oh, I'm gonna move that here as well now. I might as well. So yeah, decisions. I'm gonna move this over there. I'll have a line of these cabaret size ones beside Outrun, and then Asteroid over here. Double Dragon. I'm not sure what to do with this. I enjoy it. I certainly enjoy the music and the visuals. Nobody really plays it, and I found myself not really playing it much. Might keep the artwork, although it's just such a cool sound when it comes in. The music is really really, I don't know, has a huge effect on me, like reminding me of arcades when I was younger. So I might just keep it as a Double Dragon. I'll see. But I'm gonna move that then probably here, and then that candy cab here, and we have room for something else then. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that Naomi. It's the crazy taxi over there. That's over there, and it's a full cab. It won't fit here. not with the marquee and not with the topper as well. And I've got a topper. It's quite a tall cab. It's taller than a pinball, and this pinball just barely fit here. So I think, yeah, it's gonna have to stay there. Or if I ring it here, I'm gonna have to remove the topper altogether, and I'm hoping it fits. It might fit then. We'll see, we'll see. Let's keep shuffling stuff here and move that Asteroid into here. And I picked the worst day to have cabs lying outside for any length of time, just as well. I have this roof here, but yeah, I'm not entirely happy. So anyway, still a bit of work. That's it, folks. We got a Asteroid in the arcade room, all working and looking beautiful. Yeah, this was a great project. I'm glad I finally have an Asteroid. This is one of my most wanted cab, really, with, you know, everything else. So, but joking aside, yeah, it's great to have an Asteroid here. It's a piece of history, certainly, and it's cool to have a vector monitor. I'm seeing some jitter here. Is this a poor connection? Oh, it's gone. Okay, interesting. Maybe it's when I'm a distance away, it doesn't like me being away from it. But anyway, folks, this is the end of this restoration of Asteroid. Thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. We've more planned and more coming in the future, so stay tuned. Probably should change that. Oh, I know what it is. There's a metal plate on this one and it's preventing the light from coming through. I'm gonna have to remove that. There you go. This is not quite finished, but this video and this series is finished. Thank you for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time.